All right, so this is a simple program that draws 5 circles, the Olympic rings, and the start code is here that does this. And our goal in this video is to make this code more efficient. All right, to draw these 5 rings, it takes this much code, and that seems silly to me. We should be able to, or I wish there was something like this, right? Fill rect. And we could just call a draw circle function or a stroke circle function and repeat that 5 times. Okay, so that we don't have to do these 3 steps every time: begin, path, arc, and stroke. Okay, so let's try to do that. That's our goal. So we're going to define our own function. So to define a function, we use the keyword function, and then we give the function a name. I'm going to call it stroke circle. And we do our open and close parentheses and our open and close braces. All right, defining a basic function. I like to add a little comment here to describe what the function does. Draw a stroke circle. And we haven't done this yet, but we're going to implement it so we can draw a stroke circle at center xy with a radius of r. Okay, so when I call this function, once it's done, when I call this function, for example, I'd like to replace all of this code by just going stroke circle and say I want to draw it at 100, 100 with a radius of 50. So 100, 100, 50. Right? And then get rid of this code. And I want the stroke circle function to draw a stroked circle, like the outline, just the outline, not the filled circle, at this center and with this radius. Okay, so how do we do this? Right? These are the arguments of the function. These are the information that the function needs. We need to store that somewhere. So this is where we call the function to do its job, and this is where we define the function. And when we define the function, if we want to pass information into the function, we can define variables inside of these parentheses here. These are called parameters, and these parameters will store the values that get passed in. So x, comma, y, comma, r. So this basically means that when I define this function, I am defining it so that it will take in an x, a y, and an r. And then when I call the function, these values, the 100, 150, will get stored in the corresponding variables here, corresponding parameters, x, y, and r. All right, so then I can just take this code here, whatever, they're all the same, just the numbers are different. But we're going to change those numbers anyway, and here we're going to use our parameter x, here we're going to use our parameter y, and here we use our parameter r. All right? So when I call the stroke circle function here, it'll use the numbers 100, 150 for x, y, and r. And then I can delete this and go stroke circle again, but this time I'm going to pass in 160, 150, and 50. Right? Because the yellow ring should have a center of 160 and 150, and the radius is 50 again. Right? X, Y, R. Ta-da! So the second time I call the function, it'll pass in different values. And again, same thing here. Stroke circle, we'll go 220 and 150. I'm just realizing now it'd be good if we had a different radius. We could do a different radius, right, if we wanted to, but the design, the Olympic circles, isn't a different radius. But you could see the value of this function doesn't have to be just for this program. We could use it in any program, right? Take this function with us, bring it to some other program we have where we need to do circles, and we can do whatever size radius we want. Okay, and then we'll just replace this one as well. Stroke circle, 280, 150, and 50. And replace this. Stroke circle. Hello, there we go. 340, I think it was. 150. Yeah. Okay, so you can see how this simplified things so much. Right? Every place where there was 3 lines of code, there's now 1 line of code. Okay. What do we want to do here? Let's make sure this works. So save it. Go back here, and yay, it still looks the same. Okay, so not an impressive output, it still does the same job, but the impressive part is that our code is so much simpler. All right, awesome. So this shows you a little bit of the benefit of functions. We can define the code once, and then we can reuse that code by invoking it or calling the function multiple times, and we can pass different values into the function, which gets stored in these parameters. Just for fun, to show you this again, I don't think I would do this because the way that the graphics context works is it keeps the stroke style separate. But technically, we could also add like a color parameter here. And then when I call the function, I could pass in the color that I want. And then I could get rid of that. And let's replace this with our parameter color. Right? Set the stroke style to whatever the color is. And then here we could go yellow. And here we could go black. So then we don't need this, don't need this. Here we've got our green. Don't need this. Here we've got our red. Don't need this. And you know what? Let's get rid of these comments because it's pretty obvious what we're doing. Which is another cool thing, actually. Let's just do this, draw circles. Is the function itself, if you give it a good name, is descriptive of what it does, right? I'm drawing a stroke circle, and this is the center and the color of it, okay? So, again, I probably wouldn't do this because this isn't how the graphics context works. It likes to keep the colors separate. This is more actually in Python, and there's a library called Pygame in Python, and this is more how Pygame does it. You pass in the color when you want to draw something. But yeah, I thought this would have a cool effect because you can see it should still work. Yay, still works. And yeah, still works, but just way more efficient, right? We're just reusing this code 5 times. And let's try doing another circle just for fun. Let's just go stroke circle. Let's do it at 0, 0 with a radius of 100 and make it purple. Save that. Ta-da! All right, so like you say, we have this function. We can use it as many times as we want. We can control the center, the radius, and the color. All right, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.